This time we're going to talk about filter topologies or filter types, and we're going to do a little bit of modulation on the filter with a control voltage from an LFO. So we already looked at a low pass filter, the idea being that it filters out high frequency, passes low frequencies, and it's essentially a tone control. So let's we have our VCO, we have our filter, we have our output of our filter is going into a mixer, and the output of the filter is also going into the bottom of the oscilloscope, and the output of the VCO, this pulse you see here, is going into the top part of the oscilloscope. So let's put some volume up here a bit so we can hear something. And we'll open up our, there we go, our low pass filter. So let's look at the other filter types that are on here. This is a prototype voltage control filter from PM Foundations. It's based on the Oberheim SEM filter. So it's multi-mode, meaning that it can be a low pass, a high pass, a band pass, or a notch filter. So first we're going to have a look at the high pass, since we've already done low pass. So there's our high pass. It's basically the reverse of a low pass. We're going to pass high frequencies, filter out low frequencies. We'll have a fast look at the notch. The notch and the band pass tend to be a little bit lower in volume. So I'm going to kick up the volume a bit. We'll have a look at what happens when we sweep the frequency. And then we'll have a look at the band pass, which is a little button down here. This is our band pass. We'll sweep the frequency for that one as well. And let's have a look at the resonance on the band pass. And the resonance on the notch. You can hear it's slightly different effects. But you can get some very subtle changes in timbre or changes in tone. So we'll go back to our low pass. Get another cable. And now we're going to go from our sine into our frequency modulation input, or frequency CV input. And what that will do is, of course, move this frequency around like we're doing. But it's going to do it with a sine wave from this low frequency oscillator. This is either positive or negative, this particular pot, for the amount of frequency modulation. I'm going to go positive. And you can see what happens on the scope, and you can hear it. I'm going to add a little bit of resonance, because you can hear it a little better. Let's try it on notch. Fairly subtle. High pass is a little bit like low pass. And then on band pass, and now we're back at low pass. So let's try a couple of different shapes. We have a pulse on here. We just want to hear some of the different sounds it makes. The other thing we have is the sample and hold, which is more or less random. So if anybody happens to like prog rock, listen to Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Carnival 9. This is what Emerson does before Greg Lake comes in and starts singing "Welcome Back, My Friends" to the show that never ends. It's another classic sound. And the other thing we can do is we can, since there's a noise generator on here, we can also use noise to modulate the filter. What I'm going to do with the noise, though, I'm going to take the actual audio signal out and just use the noise to modulate the frequency with the filter actually resonating. What's interesting about doing it this way, your noise, instead of just using the noise, is it gives you that slight gurgling sort of sound that you might hear from surf, for modeling surf particularly. And even wind. We can still change the frequency, or the filter topology. Won't give as much, but and that's a little bit of what happens when you look at different kinds of filters: bandpass, high pass, low pass, and notch. And when you modulate a filter, the filter frequency with an LFO.